On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, are reruns dead forever? Also, how many boxes have we cleared? We know you're dying to know. Hello, I'm one of your hosts. I am Mr. O. And with me, as always, the original Tirabit, Lucky.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are all enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka slapping Mr. M a lot. And while we here at Studio Mega like to bring you the latest FGO's related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EA versions of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should appreciate the pion.
Indeedly-dee.
Diddly-diddly-do.
So we're probably going to have a little bit of a speedrun show for you. So if you're looking for a lot of something to listen to while you're on your lotto grind, I can't really help you. We have our own lotto grinding to do, and also, otherwise there's not a lot going on. But we got a few things to talk about. This is, I believe, our last show of the month. Yeah.
Yes.
The next one will be on the 2nd of September. So we will do Fanservant Friday after the mailbag break, along with some other stuff. But it's been pretty minimal. We'll talk more about why maybe JP has been a little minimal when we run through the news. But yeah, it's been a fairly straightforward week. I won't say it's been like a bad week or anything. There's plenty of stuff going on, having some fun. But the show will not necessarily be one of those gig-along ones, mostly because there's absolutely no story in this event. Teacher Skahawk, why are you in a buddy suit? I don't know.
It was literally that.
And your response is just, wow, we're not even trying. We're just doing stuff, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I'm for it.
But I would, before we get too much farther, this episode is brought to you by our patrons, like Anna DeHarp, Argota 10, Post G, Carlos, Dragon, Ferris, Jerry Vasquez, Just the Fate, John Sandoval, Cheetah Bus Hunter, Liam Kessler, Reach Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Sharvor, Sean Pyre, Some Guy Named Bob, Sergeant P, and Varen the Crow. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
And indeedly, if you want extra hours, we have a lot of AP audio recordings on Patreon you can download as well, which I know that some people have been enjoying.
I do know that sometimes when we do the lotto grind gets on, some people like just to go back to old episodes of Let's Talk and just power through us and laugh at our earlier stuff. They mock us. I know they do, Omega.
Yes, indeedly they do. But we still get the watch hours.
We do.
So who wins in the end?
Not my
the
pride.
Greater fool, the fool or the fool who listens to the fool? Anyway, let us move swiftly on. Sorry, my brain blanked on how I do this next part technologically. There we go. Because we're going to check out with everybody's favorite Kohai Mash.
Senpai! 起きてください!
Because I would like you to wake the fuck up, Senpai. There is men to punch. Speaking of which, my first pro tip this week is do not forget that you can always win by just punching Master M. The maps may seem disadvantageous, but the AI often has some weaknesses in its strategy, and almost every map I've done so far, out of the ones that are currently available as of this recording, if you get too close to Master M, he will usually try to get the fuck out of there so you can make the AI waste moves doing that, as opposed to using those moves to beat you up. But our second pro tip, this only applies if you are on Android and use FGA, that's Fate Grand Automaton, I believe? Or is it Automata?
Automata, I don't know.
You can find it in searching in those ballparks. It is a device to automate your clicking. It does not necessarily invade the game code, so it's probably fine.
It's an overlay.
Yeah. But it does have a specific menu for lotto boxes, we were informed about. So if you're trying to speedrun the boxes and want to rest your finger, as I know many of you do, consider checking out that feature.
Oh, yeah, no, I tried using it today. It is a poisonous fruit that is delicious and scary.
But there you go. That's a ringing endorsement if I ever heard one. Let's go ahead and slide right on into Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic. So, with the power of Lotto EXPs, I have protected Helena's Smile. Means Lancer Lee's next on the list. And indeedly, unlike, I think, the last couple events I did, I got 2 CE drops. All right.
Sick. On my end, I finally was able to complete 3 people who have been waiting for a while for a variety of reasons, such as fucking bones. But, yeah. So Zhang Yu, Lu Bu, and Darius III all have their smiles protected. And, well, you didn't mention yours, so I'll just ignore that. But, speaking of CEs, I've gotten 4 so far.
Oh, you can, I mean, my box count isn't impressive. It's like 7. I've usually been doing this in batches in the middle of the night when a new map drops because you get a fuck ton of dog tags.
Yeah, you do. But no, I'm currently at 16 boxes, which, if you know Lucky, is fairly impressive.
That's pretty good considering we've been doing this a few days.
Yeah.
I would probably be at more boxes, but I have another more pressing time grind, technically, something that runs out in less days than the Lotto does, so
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Sorry.
Let's have fun. I'll be telling you about that one on What's Up tomorrow, or technically later today, if depending on when you're listening and whether or not you are a patron who can listen early. But we'll catapult right along and ask you, did you finish your master missions? Probably. So, I saw a great quote about this where this set of master missions was apparently in the equivalent of this was in JP in like July or something, and then it got swapped around because our schedule is nuts. But it's fairly generic. To complete your master missions this week, you need to defeat 20 enemies, defeat 40 enemies, both of which are not including servants or certain bosses, defeat 3 servants with the king trait, defeat 3 servants with the divine trait, defeat 15 enemies with the heaven attribute, that'll also be those divine trait servants, and defeat 15 female enemies. Basically, you can just do the event. There are some free quests if you want to get these out of the way, but like literally just farming the different free quests will get you these one way or another. So there you go, you're fine. Pretty straightforward. Well, not much else to do there, so we have to scooch along to Skelegrams, our news segment.
Yes, news.
Yeah. So, not a lot going on right now, though some people are very interested in this thing that's come up. But JP has announced and started Summer 2021 Summoning Campaign Rerun from the 21st until the 31st, so basically that last block of the current summer event. There are 2 separate banners. There's the Ogitan Anastasia Charlotte banner and the Kama Canis Sei banner. None of them rotate. They are all along the same lines. They're just 2 separate banners with separate pity rates and free daily summons, etc. Both banners have the full CE lineup, including the male CEs. And so this is pretty interesting because this definitely discounts we are not getting that event rerun this year.
Yeah.
And I have heard from fairly reliable sources that in interviews the developers have been saying they want to do less reruns.
I mean, I have mixed feelings about this.
Yeah.
Because reruns are definitely an opportunity for players who, like, maybe, started late or missed it or had problems with one way or another to, get the event, catch up on story and whatnot, and get the welfare. Like, but I also understand for people who, who were in there in that moment, got all this stuff, got the t-shirt and all that stuff, these reruns don't necessarily, give that much. I mean, you get materials like Saint Court's mats, QP, stuff like that, all those little
If you've already got the welfare, you usually get a decent chunk of rare prisms, for instance, as well.
Yeah, but those are just, like replacement items and whatnot. It's not, it's not your first experience and whatnot. So people usually don't, take, reruns that seriously. They just take it like another, notch in their belt. They gotta, that's a windmill.
Good.
But, so I can understand, like, it's one of those things of, like, I can understand both sides of this story, and I'm not entirely what side of the fence I'm on here.
Yeah, I've heard that reportedly online, including from the actual Japanese fan base, people are reportedly upset about missing opportunities for the extra free materials and stuff, for the welfares to kind of go back and do all that stuff. Honestly, I wrote this in my notes. The thing for me that matters is the killer is missing out on potential welfares and also event CEs. Because the ones you get from the event stores and stuff are not rerun in banners. And there's this thing we do where we only give you 4 guaranteed and the rest is RNG, so you could make that easier on the initial run, Lasengle. Just saying. Literally thing your power, it doesn't fuck up anything.
I think the thing that's killing me most is that they're rolling this out and they haven't, like, actually displayed any sort of, what's the word I want to use, plan to address the lack of rerun issues. There's like, we're not going to do reruns. Here's the banners. I'm like, but what about everything else involved in the event?
Yeah, because like I said, Lasengo could do several things to alleviate this stuff, right? And I agree with probably what is going on through their stuff. Like, remember how much data FGO has on the back end. It's a lot. They have a lot of server data. I am sure they can tell when they are not making as much money, when they do not get as many users logging in or playing daily, and stuff like that. that they know if people are not enthused about reruns. I told an anecdote earlier off mic, but I will repeat it for the people at home. Even in our own community, during the OQ rerun, which is very recent, there were a lot of people who were not enthusiastic about the rerun. They either weren't able to finish it or didn't want to finish it because the OQ event structure is kind of bad for a rerun. It's very clicky. There's a lot of little things. Yes, you get a lot out of it, but you have to put a lot of time into it because it's not like you can autopilot clicking through tunnels, right?
Right.
You have to manually click on stuff and push buttons. So that's very understandable. And I've heard from our community members who also play in JP that as a main interlude, OQ is much better because you can basically poke through it at your own pace whenever you have free time. And you still get some of the rewards, and you could go back and do the story if you missed it. So there's a lot going on here, and I feel like reruns personally command less and less of my attention as the game goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there have been several rerun events this year I have straight up not finished. OQ was one. And
Same.
The Guru Guru Final Hanoji was another. Just because that one is also kind of finicky and specific in its way to clear, and it's just like, I got all the stuff, I'm good. Like, I like extra stuff, but it's not enough to get me sucked in, especially when you have lots of other things. Like, for the mats, for instance, they just added with the anniversary drop a new way to get pure prisms, so you can kind of buy your own mats. The real key thing for me, like I said, is the welfares and CEs and the safety net of them, right? Because you never know what happens. Shit happens in life, right?
Right.
So if I can understand the exclusive drive to be like, oh, well, if we don't rerun events, more people will be driven to pay attention the first time, but, like, what if you can't, you know? And now, admittedly, since they've kind of switched to a 3-week schedule, I think they're trying to, like, pad for that. They're trying to give you, like, an extra clear time with basically, like, an extra dead week in the event, so that if you're slow or something comes up in the middle, you can catch up, which is okay, I guess. Like, that's a strategy for sure. But there's now 7 years of this game that haven't been operated on this system, or most 6.5 years, whatever.
Again, like, I'm hoping that they will actually, sit down and come up with some sort of, like, maybe if they don't, maybe they won't call it, like, main interlude stuff, but just start slowly adding, like basic drummed down versions of all events and welfares just to the game. So even if people aren't getting, like, all the quartz, all the materials and stuff, they still have a chances to, pick up the events CE, pick up the welfare.
Yeah. I've heard people talking about a possible, like, instead of main interlude, event interlude, right? Like, build a little menu for it. That would probably be good. Because, like, obviously, reruns can be very, disappointing. We know for sure that, like, the Santa Carna event coming later this year for us, that's not getting a rerun. We gotta lock that one in if you want that shit. You want that Punch Carna? You gotta go for it. Luckily, Vitra is permanent, so you don't need to worry about that necessarily, like, waiting for rerun banners that don't come. But that means next year's summer event, and summer, Ruler Da Vinci, that is a one and done, unless they bring this up to fix this. And I also said this off camera earlier, off mic, I should say. Well, off recording. He was in a VC. This isn't a new problem, right? We have been discussing what Delightworks / Los Angeles should do about missed content, missed welfares for literal years, because if you have been playing the game through its full lifespan, depending on when you joined, there are just some event servants and event CEs you can't ever get anymore, right? Like, they're just gone. They are not to be reposted unless something special happens, like the Halloween thing they did last year, which is another thing that makes me hopeful they will bring back some of these things. That was a very good model where you got to speed run through old Halloweens to get welfares and story content and could catch up for the new one, right? I really hope they do that for, like, a Gouda Gouda or something soon. Or maybe some old Christmases. I don't know. But, like I said, there still is issues. If you missed Gouda Gouda and its rerun, the original one, you can't get Nobu anymore. You can't get Vanilla Nobu. Which is kind of a shame, because she's, with her trait slices, a fairly decent free unit, right, at MP5. So that's something I think they're going to have to address. I think the unfortunate thing is, unless we get, like, a dev die or whatever where Losengle goes, okay, we heard your feedback, we understand, we're going to figure out something sooner rather than later, we are probably waiting for either a, like, major story drop or New Year's or another really big million downloads campaign. Like, this is the kind of thing that's not going to be a monthly update, just casual quality of life fixes where they're going to be like, And hey, we've put like 5 more welfares in the FP banner or whatever. It's gonna be tied to something bigger and more focused. So we may be kind of waiting in silence on this one for a while.
And that's the thing that I think that bugs me the most, is we don't know what the plan is.
Yeah. Like, if they say, hey, we want to de-emphasize reruns and make new event runs longer, okay. They're doing that. All right, that's understandable. That gives them more time to plan stuff out, more time to work on new content, so they don't have to rely on reruns as kind of a time waster and a rehash of old content. Okay. That might just be better for their dev team management, whatever. But, yeah, the no direct feedback on this is gonna mean that people are gonna have to sit and stew a little bit, which is always kind of a rough feeling. And we'll see how it shakes out. Like I said, there's a lot they could do to alleviate this, and I know lots of people have conspiracies like, oh, they're not doing reruns because the banner's in the pity. No, we kind of solved that one. They just don't rotate the banners. They just did 2 separate ones. I've heard a lot of people be like, oh, they're concerned about how you're going to get welfare servant coins. I don't think they are concerned. I understand if you want the servant coins to make your welfares 120 or whatever, but I don't think that is holding back Lasengel in delivering you extra welfares. And I'm sure it could be solved with a variety of programmable reasons. Like, I think it's just that they want to do less reruns and they want to do more new content. Now, how that will apply to, like we said, retroactive stuff, we will have to see. Sorry, I'm wiping sweat off my brow. It's hot in here again. But yeah, like I said, you brought this up earlier, kind of seeing both sides of it. Like, I could totally understand the cutting of reruns, right? Because they probably don't have a broad appeal.
Yeah.
Like, the reruns are most beneficial to people who have been playing, probably, depending on the rerun, the event in question, probably 3 to 6 months. They've actually been playing long enough to, clear whatever story they need to actually play the event, barring, stuff like Summers, which are all just, clear Fuyuki. But haven't been playing for, about a year because they probably would have played it the first time. And with so many years of FGO, that's a lot of backlog of people who probably are just kind of middling. And obviously, like I said, people were supposedly, actually being upset on the internet about this. I've seen some comments on it, I know that when the summer banner was announced, there were definitely some people being like, oh, okay, we're not kidding about, no reruns or less reruns. However you want to phrase it. And it's like, okay, yeah, I guess we're not. I guess they are legitimate. Well, we'll see how that shakes out for them. I do kind of feel like this year has been weird. It's hard to tell, what is a deliberate plan to shift the game kind of playing out now that Lasengel is at the helm, and what is just, well, we've got this big hype train system in Road to 7 that we're doing, and that's giving our players a lot of the extra stuff they need. So do we need to, flex our muscles and put in extra reruns? Because they're still delivering you the game updates, and they're delivering you the new stuff. It's just the old stuff that has been in question, and the unfortunate thing is the old stuff has been in question for a long time, and we still haven't quite got there. I'm sure something will happen eventually. It has been stated in interviews that they have, 10 years of content planned out as of, I think that was 5th anniversary, technically. So, I don't know if that's, 10 years and stop or what, right?
All right.
So, I don't know if they've added a couple more years to that timer. And it took them a while, but they got to pity. Everybody was harping on it, but they got there eventually. So, I assume that this will be a thing, especially, like I said, if you do not like how this means that we're going to get welfare skipped over and stuff, or rerun welfares, I should say, skipped over, then yeah, you should probably make sure to put that out there in your survey questions, put it out there online, because we know they pay attention to these things. And it could just be that thing where they've got the hard data to back up that maybe that many people don't actually care about reruns, right?
It's always the rough bit.
Yeah, it's always kind of sad when you figure out that oh, well, if we look at the data, our opinions are not very common. Well, shit. But like I said, if people are making enough noise, those get those numbers up there. Maybe they will, be more interested if they're not already interested in working on it to bring out old welfares in some way. And that's all we got on news on that front. I presume that this is probably how JP is going to cruise control through that last bit of the current summer and into the next Road to 7, whichever one that is that I still can't remember because they still haven't announced it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 4? Is it 5? I don't know. It should be 5 part 1, right? We're in month 8, almost month 9. Anywho's, that's it for news.
Alright, well, with that out of the way, let us move into a very, very tiny mailbag. That's right, everyone. It's time for this week's Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. You know, just to be sure, let me just refresh. Let me just give it the refresh. Nope, it's still 7.
Lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7.
One each for Grail Front.
Ayo. Oh, well, that's fine. I'm okay with a little bit shorter, so I got more to do today.
Yeah, hey. Whatever works.
Whatever works. So, let's crack the FAF meter all the way to maximum and then take it one notch more and get started. This first one comes from a Master Conquering Grail Front with my Grand Lancer Hosuin Ishin. Big Lancer energy. But they say, hey guys, hope your lottery boxes have been building up nicely. How are you enjoying Grail Front? I love the format, and with a few tweaks, this could be a fun PvP game mode. Sending you the good vibe and enjoy your bunnies respectably. I mean, I don't think there's a choice. I think a fucking Shisha will stab you otherwise.
Yeah.
To your first things, no, do not give me PvP.
Yeah, no, FGO is not balanced for PvP. That would be bad. You'll notice how Grail Front is deliberately designed to be a challenge by virtue of the fact that all your enemies have like 4 times as much HP as you have. I do not know how that would work if you were engaging this live with players. God forbid what the loading would be like and the server lag, because it's not meant to communicate in that way.
Yeah, no, no.
I know some people have had some technical issues with the Grail Front. I haven't, though I do notice that a lot of the graphics do take a little bit of time to spin up.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise it has been perfectly playable. So I do not want to imagine what fresh hell connectivity with other people would bring, let alone how annoying that would be. Trust me, I have been doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel to grind out for the Duel Pass for this season, because I want my fucking scapegoat mate. That involves dealing with human beings in a PvP scenario. It sucks. I hate it. I'll tell you more about it on WhatsApp if you guys really want to know. But, like, FGO would not be made better by that inclusion. I mean, I know you could do some rebalance stuff, but again, talking about, the game developers working on stuff, I would much prefer they work on new content.
Guys, I just want you to consider, take all those people who just talk endlessly about the best meta strat and how they have everything perfect to do everything perfectly, and then consider yourself playing a PvP game against them. Would you find that fun?
Well, and also, you gotta account for the fact that, like, I mean, I guess it would have its own ranking system, though that would still be terrible. The first few parts, even at low levels of a brand new ranking season, are awful because all the tryhards are back in the bottoms as well. But there's no way to balance, like, hey, I've got a grailed 120, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, Musashi Berserker or whatever. That's my best servant versus people who are like, I'm free to play, and I don't want to spend my grails yet. Like, there's so many ways that you can get rolled in a PvP environment. Like I said, the only way that Grail Front is balanced is by the fact that enemy servants still get the enemy AI, like, health levels. Yeah, level 120 Herc with Bond CE and all maxed skills and all rank ups literally won't die. Yeah, it's something that I don't know if you could practically balance. I mean, I guess they could do the equivalent of things MMOs do with, like, synced, right? But then that's just you measuring your brain penis against the other player's brain penis, and that's frustrating. Because people will be smarter than you or faster than you or have better connections than you, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's worth it. If you want to know how I'm enjoying the actual format of the event, wait until we get into the free talk segment. We'll be talking about that a little bit.
People do Grail Front and they just sit there and don't actually do anything.
Oh god, the stallers for time. I blocked a dude on PSN in Master Duel.
Oh really?
Yeah, no, I was like, I thought about telling him how much he sucked, but he was playing a horrific, terrifying stall deck, and I was just like, okay, you're a bad person. I never want to see you or speak to you again. Even though I won that match, I think I still reported that guy for slow play, because it was like, his deck didn't do anything, it just made it miserable to play against in the hope that the other guy has to fold and go on with his life, and I'm like, fuck you, no. I mean, if you could submit your team as, like, an upload thing and challenge other players' team without player control. Oops, lost my way a little second there. That would probably work. That's not real PvP. That's just you fight team comps that other people made up. That could be fun.
That sounds pretty cool.
Like, basically support setup, but antagonistic, right? Like, your opponent doesn't control them, but their submitted servants get to be the other team. That could be interesting. I do not know if FGO has the architecture for that. If they do, it might be a cool concept for them to try out, but yeah. Anyway,
let's move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from Hassan of Growing Genshin Addiction.
Rip.
They did come out with a big new update, and people are fucking vibing.
As you do.
As you do. But they say, hey, Lucky and Mega, how goes farming? At the time of writing, I'm at 20 boxes and waiting for the next rotation, which has better mat drops. No questions, just good vibes. Wah, 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 wah.
You already know how our farming goes, so cheers to you.
Yes.
Honestly, also, people are talking about how they're excited for Genshin in the Patreon chat as well. That happens with all content patches. We may... it'll probably come up again in What's Up, but in case you don't tune into that, the 14 just had a big patch. Final Fantasy 14 had a big patch. And I know that some people were locked out of content because too many people were trying to instance go to their magical tropical island, even though that is technically endgame content, right? You have to beat all of the latest story release to get there.
Well, you have to beat the main story of the expansion, not the in between stuff.
Right, but you still have to clear the story of the latest expansion patch to get there. So you have to be basically caught up with current story content, as it were. So that's pretty far, and that's we still broke the instances. We didn't have enough server juice. So updates are definitely attention grabbing.
Yeah,
I don't think there was a lot of server slowdown for FGO, but that's because we always, turn on in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. So, let's see here. We move on. This next one comes from Commandant of Purifying Force, who says, greetings, Risk Taker Lucky and Dungeon Keeper Omega. As per usual, hello from the Philippines. Hello! With the debut of the first Grail Front event on NA, not only does it give us FGO players some new ways to play the game, but also reminds us super hard that low rarity servants exist. They must be utilized every now and then with some soft PvP mode to boot. I just want to ask, in your honest opinion, will Grail Front be spun up as a standalone game in whatever form? Thanks, and as always, good vibes to everyone. Wah 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 wah.
I mean, I feel like we're pretty close to so I think FGO the Duel is similar to this.
I don't know if it's necessarily, but it's close enough. I think.
I mean, it's a lot simpler of a grid. I am kind of surprised that, especially with the dual figures and stuff, we haven't tried to spin off into a full blown miniatures version of this. Give me actual capsule machines. But could they spin it off into a standalone app? Yeah, probably.
Buster is losing his goddamn mind. I don't know why.
It's because there's a PS on this.
There is. Hang on 1 second, though. I gotta go check out why the dog is, trying to croon the blues here. 1 second.
All right. While Lucky's there, I will speak to you. I will actually ask chat something because I was thinking about this. So am I going crazy, or does the damage bonus not apply in the actual Grail Fronts, right? Or am I just incapable of reading at 4 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, it's only in free quests. Yeah. So it's correct. That was something I was going to bring up with this comment about how that low rarity servants exist and must be utilized. It's better for free quests. Obviously, there's some funny things you can do with Arash and Changong in the free quest farming because they're super powered. The main thing is that you use your lower rarity stuff for making up team comps, but I'm still using a lot of 4 and 3 stars where able. Though, once again, the fact that my Medusa is grailed is coming in very handy for some of these.
Alright, I'm back.
Yeah.
Buster, there's a fire truck going on, and for some odd reason, Buster has this thing that if he hears sirens, like police sirens, ambulance sirens, fire truck sirens, he's just all like, ah!
Wee woo.
Yes.
But yeah, I was just talking about how the bonus damage doesn't exist in the Grail Fronts itself, so it's kind of not quite a zero sum, but it's definitely kind of not the bonus you were hoping for using lower rarity servants in there. It once again reminds us that Grails are OP, because if you have a Grailed low rarity servant, you get to have all your high stats and also eat your low cost. It's like cake.
Cake. Oh, where am I? Okay. Sorry, my Fey Grand Automata just told me, hey, we used all the AP we could. I'm like, okay, cool, sick. Where am I at? And I have, thousands of each of the fucking... Well, not thousands, but, 1,000 of each of the event shop currency. I'm just like, Jesus.
Nice.
I just finished buying out all the silver pieces. I still got, I need like 400 more and I can buy out all the gold pieces. And after that, I'm pretty sure, oh god, I have just 5,000 tokens just sitting there. Jesus. This is dangerous. This is dangerous, y'all. Let me see here. So how'd they say they do that? Just go to the lotto screen, hit the button, and yeah, there it is.
Bloop lotto.
Bloop lotto. I'll just let that go now. And I'll probably call it good for the day. But there was a PS here. Even though I didn't get Shisho, I'm not super upset than usual because I keep forgetting that while currently having fun with small Vinci farming, while blasting War's Lowrider and most of the post of the... Hang on. I think I missed a word or words will be missing, but I have completely bamboozled myself here. Even though I didn't get Shisho, I'm not super upset than usual because I keep forgetting it while currently having fun with small Vinci with small Vinci's farming while blasting War's Lowrider and most of the posts of Need for Speed Underground and Most Wanted 2005 and the Shadow Border speakers with MASH in the back vibing. Okay. Technically that does make sense, but...
Grammar was a little clunky there.
Yeah.
Also, there was at least one double space.
Yeah. But I don't think I have necessarily anything to say to that. So we shall move on. This next one comes from the Tyrant King, gearing up one caffeine-fueled lotto grind session tomorrow night. Get it. It's a question. Hey, Lucky Omega, in honor of Omega pulling a CR Cosmic Cyclone. Is that a Yu-Gi-Oh thing?
Yeah, it's a collector's rare. It's very shiny.
Oh, collector's rare.
I opened some cardboard crack today.
My question is, what funny/interesting stories do you have about Yu-Gi-Oh? One story of mine was when Crystal Wing was first released. I traded it for the new Blue Eyes cards. I had a feeling it would come back to me later on, and it did because I packed it at a regional from the entry cards. Anyways, that's it for me, and take care. Sending good vibes your way. Wah. And have a nice evening. P.S. Also a reminder that meta is temporary and Blue Eyes is eternal.
Yes, Blue Eyes players who have absolutely no idea what they're doing and give me easy wins are eternal. It's a running gag. I know that there are some people who play Blue Eyes intelligently. They are not playing Master Duel Ranked. There's a lot of failure to read. We just assume Big Dragon go burr. Yeah, I can't really think of any funny Yu-Gi-Oh stories off the top of my head.
I have a funny Yu-Gi-Oh story.
Stuff we do. What's up?
For years I didn't care about Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I met this dude and this group of people, and they like Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was like, okay, that's good for them. And then they showed me that Yu-Gi-Oh had a thing called Dragon Maids, and I was absolutely blown away. And I was just all like, I don't care about this fucking game, but I care about this cardboard crack of Dragon Maids. And I have bought a few of them. I plan on buying more. I've just been spending my money on absolutely everything else, so I haven't got back to it. But I'll get there eventually. I'll collect all these Dragon Maids.
I wonder if I could... I mean, hey, Lucky, did you know there's Dragon Maid accessories, including a premium dual mate. She transforms between her regular form and her dragon form in Master Duel. They got the cosmetics.
What?
Actually, Dragon Maid is one of the structure decks.
Really?
Yeah. So you can buy a pre-made structure deck in the game. I play Dragon Maids pretty regularly and stuff.
No,
I don't think you'll have fun because
probably not.
When once you beat all the solo modes, which 50% of the solo modes you play with the so-called loner decks anyway. There's only PvP modes, and as discussed earlier, they suck.
Yeah, no, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that dumpster. Well, I'm not going to call it a dumpster fire. But I am going to call it that. I'm not going to deal with that garbage.
I watch people who are much better at Yu-Gi-Oh than me play Master Duel, and it can be a dumpster fire sometimes. I can't wait to skip like 2 or 3 seasons of playing ranked so I can get kicked back down to rookie again. That was the most fun I ever had, was actually climbing all the way up to Platinum. Now that I'm in Platinum, I'm like, this place sucks. I don't want to be here anymore.
All right, hey. But let's move on. Actually, I do need to pull up my Dragon Maid cards and actually see where I am on that list. But moving on, this next one comes from Moon is covered in dust from cleaning out her cupboard/closet. Question, hello there, Omega and Lucky. Hope you're both doing great since it's school season as of right now. What is your best moment or memory from high school? Well, this is a loaded question because Omega didn't go to high school.
Yeah, I was homeschooled for quite a few years. Since 4th grade is when we started.
Mm-hmm. And as for me, high school?
We're old, y'all. Not like really old, but we're old.
I'm trying to think of like things and stuff I did in high school. And I'm like, no, I didn't really necessarily have that great high school experience. I was bullied a bit, I was kind of a social outcast. I mean, I wasn't like super bullied, and like I'm oddly resilient in some ways. Like, yeah, I was being bullied, but I was like 6 foot tall, and I had like nerd rage. So if anyone actually tried to pick a fight with me, they would actually regret it, but they would just find other ways to fuck with me. I think I still got a scar. I think I got a scar still from one of that shit. But nah, my high school life wasn't that great. If I could do it again, I would, but at the same time, it's just one of the things that, that made me who I am today, so yeah, it is what it is. I did meet a lot of good people though, but as you do with sometimes your school friends, everyone kind of drifted apart. But no, high school I think is when a lot of things like solidly clicked for me, I want to say. I can't really say like any one experience, but high school is when I started getting into tabletop, was when I started getting into anime, when my love of Japanese culture started to blossom, all that kind of stuff. That's all like
early
high school
or mid to late, I should say, is technically high school. Mid to late teens is definitely a formative period in your life.
Yeah, but if we're talking about actually good memories, nah.
Yeah, I don't have any. I like I said, was homeschooled. I don't have anything to contribute on the high school front.
And if we have nothing else to contribute on that front, we shall move swiftly on. And this next one comes from the Eternal Storm, who says, "No question this week. Wishing you both luck for the Grail Front." Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Luck as well.
Yep. Hope you're kicking ass.
Try not to get bullied by all these 5-star units they keep sending directly at your face.
Hello. Oh, excuse me. I messed that up. Next one here comes from Agent 418, who says, "Hello, Lucky Omega. What servant so far have you been using so far?" That's redundant. What servant so far have you been using so far in Grail from that you have not used in a while? My plan to use either version of Marie has been working. P.S. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Lucky's been doing fucking Grail Front with Team Tamamo. Like, no, it doesn't make any fucking sense, but
hey, whatever works.
Yeah, no, look.
Trust me, if there's a Saber slot, I am trying to put my Grailed Mordred in there. Grail's OP, please nerf. Don't do that. I mean, there are a couple. There were some that have Lancer slots where I've been trying to flex Gareth a little bit. Mm-hmm. So that has worked out a couple of times. I did talk about this, and one at least I used my Grailed Medusa in a slot. That was more advantageous, but sometimes I don't use, like, I put a servant in that slot, I literally don't use them. They just sit there making sure I don't get bullied, right? So there's a lot of easy things. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that axe. I'm talking about the Grail Fronts. Huh? Also, no, they won't this time because they're not. They're assassins.
He's talking about round 3.
Oh.
We're in round 2 right now.
Well, my Mordred is only NP2, so thanks for reminding me of that deep-seated pain, comp brain boy. I'll never forgive you for this. I can't believe you've done this.
Omega will remember that.
No, I won't.
True.
Tomorrow, Axe will be like, "I can't believe you said that to me," and I'll be like, "What did I say?" I don't remember anymore. We did like another hour of show after that. Lucky, and I may or may not try and do co-op Saints Row again, which I'm sure will give us more new things to think about.
Yeah, no, I actually was. Let me double check. Yeah, no. Faf mode engage. I was at work thinking about, what do I want to stream tomorrow? I could go either or on Saints Row or Final Fantasy, because both will be entertaining in their own way. Mm-hmm. And I threw it up on our announcement channel on our Discord, mm-hmm. and we actually got a fair amount of agreement. I'm like, if I have to make decisions, I might try this again.
Yeah, and it's currently 17-9.
Yeah, technically that's 16-8 because I put down the first
emote the first ones.
Yeah, so it'd be easier for people, but still, that's like literally twice the fucking twice the amount for Final Fantasy as it is for Saints Row. Which I guess makes sense. Saints Row does have a very bad rap right now. While Final Fantasy, everyone's like, "This is amazing! It's so amazing! I can't get in."
And we do seem to have a wide variety of different people. There's no like funny ha-haing going on.
Well, I'm expecting to see at least like 16 people show up. No, wait, 15 because Omega voted for Final Fantasy. At least 15 of you tomorrow. If not, I'm gonna be very upset.
I mean, I'm gonna show up. Otherwise, the show's in trouble. But yes.
It is just Lucky streaming and screaming constantly. Well, to be fair, no matter what game, that's probably going to happen.
You are technically not recording your gameplay, but you have screamed a couple of times tonight already.
I almost hit a bridge.
You gotta watch out for those bridges.
They jump right out you.
But, okay, day.
Okie day. Let us move swiftly on to the.
We
Oh
don't
god,
have
this is
to
the
move
last
that.
one.
Yeah, we don't have to move that swiftly.
I was like,
Lucky, do you want to? We're on our last question. Do you want to know what the timer's at right now? What the mission clock
Not really.
is? Okay,
Not really.
I won't tell you.
Not re-
I'll keep that to myself.
Not really. It's like, I think I take emotional damage from it. But this this last one comes from Black Crow Down, who says, Mayday, FGO keeps crashing, I can't grind, requesting immediate support. For real though, I hope the crashing probably hasn't been bothering you two or other viewers anywhere, has it been for me? Sorry, they put a word here, and they put in what it means, but I'm curious, is it like Doe? Dewey?
Yeah, I don't actually know. It
Hang
is
on,
Dutch.
hang on. Dewey. Yeah, because like, the emphasis on the D and the E. Dewey. Neat. I wish I could erase that so I can save more space in my brain for Japanese, but whatever. I'll probably forget this, honestly.
Too late.
It's too late. It's been burned into my memory reserves forever. Oh no. And we're done with mailbag.
Yeah.
It's very, very quick. Holy
Well, I
shit.
mean, we can talk about. I mentioned this earlier. I haven't experienced any of the crashing that some people have.
I
assume
have
you
not
haven't.
either.
Yeah,
No.
I believe there are some fixes floating around on the internet. Some stuff that cleared some things up for people. You can.
Yeah, there
probably
was an
ask
update
about
last
in
night. It
our,
made me break my
Discord.
fucking streak. Because, well, actually, I don't know. Like, I didn't have crashes, but yesterday I had a hell of a time actually getting into the game. I want to say, like several times I had connections issues, and I just couldn't get in. This is one of the reasons why my streak broke, because I tried like 3 teams to log in. And I was like, okay, I'll try later. Then it was like 8:30 at fucking night. And I'm like, oh, I better log in. I tried again. It was like, we're gonna update. I'm like, oh, okay, let's update. Then I left it alone for a half hour, and I was like, shit.
What time
So-
was it busy?
I can't remember.
Yeah, because I haven't experienced a lot of that, but I mentioned this earlier. I think it was off mic. I have been playing like very weird hours of FGO. Like, I'll usually wait until the new map comes out, and I will play that early in the morning before going to bed. And then after clearing the map, I will do some lotto farming. So I'm like doing all my work later, not during peak hours, I assume. So I haven't experienced any of that connectivity stuff, other than the usual. It's, it's a month or so late, but we're getting summer storms a lot now. So occasionally, the Zeus will knock out my internet for a little bit by turning all the lights off. Can't stop my double backups on PCs and PS5s, but can turn off the router for a little bit.
Oh, damn! Ah!
See, he's done it again.
Okay, I dropped my phone that time. That's why it was a little weird.
That's okay. I dropped my. That also I don't think was on recording, but I dropped my phone earlier. I was one-handing it and just whoop. That's why we have a case. But okay, it has been a little short time on that, but we have done a bulk of our stuff, so we're gonna pause here and take a little intermission.
Alright.
Mostly because I'm very hot and I'm getting very sweaty in this shirt. I need some more water. It is warm tonight, guys. So
You gotta hydrate.
I'm gonna take a $5 and we'll be right back. All right, let's bring the show back. We're going.
Yeah.
We're having fun. Okay, there's like several places I'm gonna take in that segue. I decided to go with none of them. This is called Day of Free Talk. We're going on to Grail Front First Impressions.
Yay.
First impressions. This will mostly be about the maps and the lotto farming because, as I said earlier, there's not really any story. It's very simple. You do the prologue. The prologue is Skahaka Boot Camp, but bunny suit for some reason.
Again, I do like how they shout out, like, no, we don't actually have a reason for this. We just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fair. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, no, we're just going with it. And it's like, okay, all right, fine.
I like it when we don't have to pretend.
Yeah, and there's a decent amount of humor in the setup. Like, you and Mash are just kind of like minding your own business and get sucked into this. Master M, of course. Literally nobody buys it. I think even director Gordolf is like, I got that guy. Oh boy, I've got an @ Hold on.
Who added you?
Who's done it? Oh, it's fucking Dallas.
Is he asking for secrets?
No. It's in progression.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm getting out of this is that Prague is probably going on indefinite hold.
Oof.
Yeah, Dallas has new school commitments. Loth is trying to get a job and a time slot that will conflict with us. So we're probably gonna need to put Prague on indefinite hiatus.
Well, let's make that the fucking Final Fantasy Day.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was planning on doing next week anyway. By the way, tune in Wednesday, August 31st, unless something breaks. That will be me starting Final Fantasy 14. The free trial, which lets you play unlimited time up to Heaven's Word. However the meme goes. I think I said that reverse. And in future, we can probably massage the time frame a little.
Actually, how's that going to work for a tabletop? Is he still good for that?
It's a Sunday, so I hope so. I hope he's not taking... It's talking about school stuff, so I hope he's not taking any classes or school internships or whatever on a Sunday. Also, hold on. Yeah, I'm about to say, Dallas, are you responding to me in the Prague channel? Lucky can see that, but I'm pretty sure he has that channel muted. But we can figure out more on Sunday. Where was I? Free Talk, right. Yes, the event itself. Yeah, I ain't gonna mention Dallas. But yeah, the story setup is pretty funny. As I was saying earlier, literally everybody sees through. Even Director Goldorf, the Bungulus, is like, oh, I get this one. But yeah, so there's a lot of funny in there, but it's very minimal, and then you just roll into the maps.
Yep.
Now, I want to say I like the format for Grail Front a lot. There's a lot of potential here. I understand why this is an event type that you reuse pretty frequently, because it's probably pretty easy for them to just go with, okay, here's the enemy team comp, here's where we hide buffs, here's the map layout, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of potential complexity in this, which is cool. But actually playing it is very simple, and I won't say it feels stress-free. I'll talk about that, my personal unfun parts of this in a second, but it's definitely, like, really easy to pick up and be like, that didn't work, go again, you know? You do lose AP, but I don't even know how much AP it is. So, it's fine.
Not that much.
I hope they play a little bit more with costs and also how many moves you have per turn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's 5 AP per run. Yeah, it's nothing at all. Almost free tries. So, being like, okay, this strategy did not work, or this team comp didn't work, and just cutting it and resetting, that's very simple, and I appreciate that. I don't know if they play around with, like, how many moves you have per turn. I sometimes feel like when the maps are huge, the 25 limit is a little limiting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one servant gets a full 3 moves, and then one servant only gets, like, 2 moves, or you get, an attack and some moves.
I'm okay with that, because I play very defensively, like, just in general, so I try to just, slowly move my guys up so that the enemy can't, just roll up on me and get a free smack in.
Yeah, no, you gotta. There is a lot of strategy out there, right? So,
right.
There are different ways to play, and I think different maps call for different strategies. Because I'll say the thing I do not enjoy, it does not bring me joy, is how some of the setups for maps are slanted. Like with the cost requirements and the classes you have versus the enemy servants. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, sometimes that part stresses me out because I can't really tell how the AI is going to be smart or dumb, like what its strategy is going to be before we start rolling on the map. So, for the spread that was the latest one when we just started this, which is the one with Karna in it, and you get an archer, an assassin, caster and rider, right?
Mm.
Your assassin is literally a dead slot. You have no class advantage. There's no riders in this map. If I'm not forgetting somebody, which I don't think I am, because there's 2 casters in the back. And Karna will try and bum rush you a little bit. So, setting that up, I was like, okay, I don't think I enjoy this because I have, dead slots and servants and I don't know what to do for it. I beat it first try because it turns out, as usual, the AI is really easy to scare into making bad moves. So, my archer was Super Orion. And my caster, because I ran out of space, was Mozart, so he mostly just fed Orion lots of stars until he exploded, and I just was able to smash through Dion and then go bully Mr. M. I kept making him spend moves he didn't want to do, he didn't have enough moves to attack me with a Karna. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm literally not using CEs. That's too expensive. But yeah, no, and that's like I said, it turns out the map was not a problem, but I could not know that going in, so I feel like the setups are sometimes a little stressful. As we get further and further in this event, though, you get bigger and bigger team comps. So I think that'll get, as we get more of a handle on the event, that'll get less stressful for me personally. I don't know how you guys feel. Let me know. Do you like feeling like there's a challenge up front, or what? I did have to reset some earlier maps because I did not quite get the metagame right. Because swapping is very expensive, it's the same as an attack. It makes sense because you're using 2 servant moves, but still, it's hard to pull off. But also the AI is very easy to debate. I have gotten a lot of action by actually pushing up with the master a little bit. I really want to get a win in by actually going mano a mano with Master M. I have not managed to accomplish that yet, but if you start to advance the master a little bit, the AI will start to get ideas. You talked about how you play defensively.
Yep.
So it's pretty easy to bait them into making bad moves. Similarly, if you're very aggro, you can often get them to do crazy things. I find it very interesting. I thought they would, but the AI does not necessarily speed run for buffs on the map.
Nope.
They will pick them up if they happen to be in the way, but I have seen them leave them alone in order to do things like try and get closer to my master token or attack one of my own units. So there's interesting. I mean, it's very funny when you see, -5, -5, -5. Master M is just, skedaddling out of there. I just imagine the Scooby-Doo running sound. But that didn't catch. It was too late. Orion was already on his ass. Game
That
over.
must be terrifying.
Just seeing Super Orion, big chunks his way after you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he was trying to get a body swap with Karna. He did not make it. That was his last hit point, was when he didn't have enough moves left. Because he had a Karna with full NP bar right up on my door, but luckily I had my Python holding down the fort on that node, so no free hits. And I do think there are some benefits to using all of the servant slots, even if it's on cheap units, because it just gives you extra bodies and extra turns you can take, right? It's kind of weird how those things are not symmetrical. If people have noticed, for instance, if you attack an enemy and you have 2 guys on your flank, you get 3 moves. You get 3 servants, rather. You don't actually get 3 turns because there's only attack going on with 1 turn. But if you clap back, you only get 1 because your allies are not adjacent to them. So there's definitely some interesting strategy here. It seems really fun, and I am hopeful to see how it evolves. Damn, 4v2. Yeah, that sounds like it sucked. But actually, somebody in chat can tell me this. Do you guys know the exact math on how skills and master abilities recover? Because I sometimes lose the count. Is it every time you're in a battle a turn ticks by? Or do turns you don't do anything tick by as well?
I think it's been because on one of the maps, I just basically ran, I think it was the second map, I only ran Tomacat and Tamamo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able, just because I played defensively and I could get Tomacat to attack first. Listen, a Tomacat attacking first with fucking limited 0 over, Buster Brave Chain destroys things.
Yeah, no, this is the same with the Super Orion comps. Yeah, it's you do the right moves.
Yeah, you do the right moves. So
making sure you attack because that gives you the initial turn is so important in this.
Yeah, no. So I would do Tomacat's Buster Brave Chain. She'd do 90k damage, and wipe out the tick. The turn would be over, and then I could just go right back into it. I pop her invincible, so she could weather a couple hits. And, I was actually finding myself, because she kept doing the first attacks, that her skill cooldowns went down pretty quick, and I was able to consistently pop her invul. And I was like, oh.
Okay, so Chad is saying that they recover every turn there is in battle, even if they aren't involved in the fight. Okay, that's very interesting.
Oh.
So that definitely really emphasizes proper positioning so you can get those extra turns in. Yeah, there's a lot of depth to this game mode. I really like it. There are parts that give me the agita, but on the map with Arthur, I had to reset that a couple times because I wasn't really expecting the AI strategy, which is Arthur charges towards your position without stopping. I had to do some swapsies and get some stuff in there. Estrella did in fact beat his ass, but I had to wiggle the team comp a little to make that work. I got rolled my first time because he just bum rushed my Lancers.
Oh lordy, he was coming.
Yeah, so stuns or charms. I've been using Python a lot as my assassin when that's available. Her vampirism is very good. Also, the skill recovery is nuts because I have been able to loop her NP per turn and HP per turn skills. As in, the buff has not yet gone away because she hasn't been in the fights, but the skill cooldowns have reset, so there's a lot of very funny things going on there. And like I said, there's definitely amusing emergent moments. I joked about this, but in one of the maps where the enemy throws all those assassins at you, those guys are really ballsy. Shout out to them. Shout out for Hassan of the Cursed Arm being yeah, I could take on this Grailed Mordred. He could not. It did not work out for him.
An attempt was made.
But yeah, there's a lot of fun here. I don't even know what's tonight's map. What are we going up for?
I don't know.
I know that we're getting pretty close to the end, and the last couple of maps give you much bigger team comps. Yeah, I've used Herc a couple times, and some servants are just like, I can totally win this, and I'm just like, evade, guts, no, strunk. Especially with that buff to his guts. It's very rewarding to use your servants where available, but I do also at least appreciate that they do actually, like, limit you with the actual cost comp, so you can't just go, here are all my grilled servants, fuck you. Okay. Oh, geez, alright, I see. Yeah, tonight's the 6th battle. All the enemies are berserkers.
Oh, time to bust out the foreigners, then.
Yeah, you do get a foreigner slot specifically, and you get a shitload of slots, by the way. You get 7, I think. 7 versus 5 berserkers. But all the enemies will have 2 breakpoints now.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're gonna get some fun. That's a new strategy point. I didn't even think they would use different breakpoints, but yeah, they can do that. That's neato. Alright, well, we'll have fun with that. Luckily, I have plenty of foreigners to pick from. But yeah, so, all in all, having good fun times with Grail Front. Oh, have I actually run and punched out Master M? Yes, I had. That's what I did on the last map, the Karna one. Because he just ended up doing a loop-de-loop. I just broke through the front with my big Chungus Orion and just, whoop! I've defeated him a couple of times. There was another map where we were just playing, which day was it where he has a Jean in the back row? I didn't even fight Jean at all. It was just like, I defeated all the servants but Jean, and I was just like, hold on, the back of this map is just a giant circle. We can just play Ring Around the Rosie until I punch you enough. And it works. Like I said, a lot of different strategy there. That's okay, I will destroy the Stolf. A lot of different strategies. But yeah, okay. Let's see. How long have we been going?
Alright, now tell me the time.
It has been raw, 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 45 seconds.
Oh, emotional damage.
Yeah, I think we've been talking about this for like 10 or 15 minutes and still not very far. But anything you want to add about Grail Front, Flicky?
No, not really. Like, I think it's okay and everything, so, it's fun, but just... Wait, can I use the fucking helicopter to develop to take toxic waste?
Yeah, can you?
I fucking can! Cheese the system! I'm just gonna do anything that involves a vehicle. I'm just gonna grab a fucking helicopter and just fucking tow it.
Hey, whatever works.
Where's my toxic plane? Here it is.
But okay then. Well, let's not keep the people too much long.
Mm-hmm.
That means it is time then for the Fanservant Friday. As voted on by all of our lovely 5 and Up patrons, this month's, still almost said week, this month's Fanservant number is Locusta of Gaul, an assassin.
Yeah!
Won pretty cleanly. There's a couple of different ways to spell her name, but if you don't know who this is, which I can understand, there could be a little bit going on there, but Locusta was active in the 1st century Roman Empire. She was a poisoner, a maker of poisons, during the Julio-Claudian dynasty, and was a favorite person of the Emperor Nero. In case you forgot that part where, like, Nero's supposed to be a slightly dodgy heroine. I don't know if people forgot that so much with Mother Draco out. But Locusta is famous for allegedly taking part in the assassinations of the Emperor Claudius and his son Britannicus to clear the way for Nero. Originally working with Nero's mother, Agrippina the Younger, came to town, did some murders, got imprisoned. When Nero got tired of Agrippina's shit, Nero let out Locusta and was just like, okay, well, hey, you get to have your own villa, and you make poisons for me now. Tell me when you come up with a cool new poison. Okay, bye. And they were just gonna, in my mind, I'm imagining here Locusta is going to play our, goth BFFs with Nero role.
Yes,
because we got a lot of fun things we can do with the fate shift. So Locusta is an assassin, lawful evil. I don't actually think this works this way, but I did read some sources call her the world's first serial killer. I don't think it's quite the same way when you are the Imperial Poisoner, but it's a funny title.
It's like, if you just call a person who just kills a bunch of people, even at someone else is a serial killer, there's a lot of people that that umbrella falls under.
Yeah, I'm sure there were a lot more successful assassins later.
Yeah.
Because this is 1st century BC. So there's a lot more BC before that. Or AD, whatever. Is it BC or how long? The 1st century Roman. Okay, it's the 1st century AD in the Roman Empire. Locusta did. By the way, fun fact: Locusta, didn't even realize this, died in the year 69.
Nice.
But yeah, so as you might expect from an assassin, not super great stats all around. Strength E, endurance C for reasons, agility C, mana D, luck A, NP C+. Class skills, just presence concealment C. So presence concealment's kind of middling. While Locusta did do some secret assassinations, it's hard to call your presence concealed when you literally have a title and a an office, effectively. The Roman imperial equivalent of an office. Emperor Nero gives you a villa and says you work here now. Personal skills. First of all, herb lore A+. So basically this is fluffed as kind of a item creation, but for poisons. Locusta is very skilled at one of the most versed poisoners in Rome, taught many others, had allegedly a school of poisoners, and experimented frequently to try and find the right poison for any situation. And so even if the poison fails, she can learn from the attempt. And in general, this is just a high power skill for crafting poisons. Even if she makes mundane poisons by just picking herbs, because she is the legendary Locusta of Gaul, they can still have a strong enough potency to kill a servant unless they have a special resistance. This is probably just a basic, like, if we were to translate this to FGO, this would be a, AoE, you're poisoned, you take extra damage from poison. Meh. Pretty typical stuff for poison-focused servants. Maybe debuff success rate up, since I explicitly compared it to item creation. Taking a leaf from another servant's books, poison resistance B. So being a experienced poisoner, Locusta has a strong knowledge of antidotes and would have a certain resistance to certain poisons. She could cure herself and others of poison. I do believe this is the name of one of Medea Lily's skills, is poison resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this would basically just be that. I believe it's a team-wide debuff, clear, and heal. But, it works the same way. Sorry, taking a drink of my water. And now, the funny one. Poisoner's Privilege EX. So, we know all about Imperial Privilege, right? We know all about, the power of being so bossy you can just do whatever you like. Well, how does that work when you're a personal favorite of somebody with Imperial Privilege? It is a skill like this. Locusta arranged to have Nero take the throne. Nero pardoned her of all past all crimes past and future, technically, by the way, according to history. So, and made her the Imperial Poisoner. So basically, despite being as far as we know, a rando, she's called Locusta of Gaul because, allegedly, according to historians, she came from Gaul, Gallia, France, into Rome, and was studying a lot of poisons at, around the year 50, but we don't know a lot about her, so she's kind of a rando, but she was at the very heights of imperial power for several years. So, basically, in lore, this is kind of a reverse of the espionage skill. If you don't know, the espionage skill basically makes your servant not sus. So long as you don't do anything to overtly blow your cover, other servants can't sense that you are a threat. Locusta doesn't have that intrinsically. Instead, when she announces, "Hello, I am Locusta of Gaul," enemies will feel an invisible pressure to not target her, because just the vibes is like you get basically, Nero killing wave vibes.
I was about to say Nero is her stand, just
yeah, basically you get Nero stand powers, because that's kind of how Locusta lived. I did also note composite skills like charisma and golden rule, so probably a battery, maybe a targetable taunt on another character, kind of a thing. Maybe some other debuffs for enemies, like attack down or defense down, something like that. I could actually do fear, the terror effect for stuns. That could be interesting.
Actually, I think it'd be interesting if it bit target focus on the other two allies, so she literally wouldn't be targeted.
Yeah, there are actually a couple of taunts like that. So taunt everybody else, and then maybe put terror on the enemies, because that gives them def down and chance to stun. Intimidation. Also a battery, because batteries are cool. By the way, I would have to assume that Locusta would have to be an arts assassin just so she and Nero can hang out.
I demand that Nero shows up for her extra attack.
That would be pretty good. Locusta just points at them and suddenly Nero comes out of nowhere. Psh, psh, extra attacks. So, Locusta has, in my reckoning, 2 noble phantasms. We'll start with a fairly normal one here. So, called this one Scala X Locusta, the School of Poisons, B++, anti-personnel self. A golden villa granted Locusta by Nero when she was made into an aristocrat, so she turned it into a school for poisoners, teaching other women the craft, and also where she would create her new poisons. It is not exactly a reality marble. It's not a reconstruction of her villa. It is rather the place where Locusta makes poisons. So it's kind of like territory creation.
I was about to say that, yeah.
But reinforced as a type of noble phantasm because she is not a caster. And as far as... I could probably have put a magecraft slant on this, but I think just being a really good poisoner works in our mythology. So basically, she can use this noble phantasm to establish a school. It gives her the ideal terrain to perform her work. She can use her magical energy and mundane herbs to create poisons which can harm servants and magical beings. She can identify basically any substance, plant, or animal that can be used as a poison. She can perfectly calculate the dosage. And so, this just gives her a workshop territory where she can create the poisons. But also she can teach this ability so she can basically make anybody able to create poisons one rank lower than hers, and even utilize her poisons, making her a dangerous enemy. So, obviously, assassins usually have to come at enemies kind of, sideways. This is the kind of thing where you can actually, really empower things out there to, spread them out. You could have, agents, familiars, whatever, start employing these poisons. Pair her with the right master. For instance, if Kiritsugu summoned the servant, everybody losing. There's poison in all the master's Cheerios. How did it get there? I don't know. Actually, I do know. So her more normal noble phantasm, probably what her actual noble phantasm in NFGO type game would be, is Imperatoria Veneficum. The poisoned feather kills even an emperor. B+, anti-personnel. So this goes back to the legend of how the Emperor Claudius was assassinated so Nero could take the throne. Her most famous murder. Locusta incapacitated Claudius's guards and food testers with more poison. She has his then-wife, Nero's mother, Agrippina the Younger, serve him poisoned mushrooms. When he takes ill, the doctor gave him a feather to stimulate vomiting. Very typical during that time. Locusta poisoned that feather. The feather was also poisoned. There have to be some JoJo poses in this, by the way. This is a very JoJo legend. Aha, the feather was already poisoned. So, basically, she can apply a poison to any item she touches, including her own body and weapons, but also food and drink. The poison can be anywhere from mild enough to be damaged. No, it's not faulty medical knowledge. Inducing vomiting is actually really good for poison control, but
if you ingest the poison, you can literally vomit it out. It's it's archaic pumping your stomach.
Yes. But because the tool to induce vomiting was also poison, the poison wasn't purged. No, it's perfect. I believe the technique is we tickle your uvula.
Yes.
Yeah, it induces vomiting the old-fashioned way. But yeah, so she would have a little silver feather as her focus for this. As I was saying, it can be mild enough to distract or incapacitate, or it can be severe enough to kill. When she activates its true name using the feather as her focus, her poison noble phantasm effect can basically instantaneously poison anything in the same space as her, including her line of sight, and gains the ability to not be avoided. So even knowing that the poison is there somewhere and trying to avoid it, she can just move where the poison is. You think that thing's poisoned? You don't eat it? Fine. You throw it in the trash can's poisoned. Just, constantly moving around, and you'll be subjected to the poison attack when she actually does it. Only non-living targets or servants who are really, really resistant to poison would avoid it. It has a strength against kings, because that's what she used it on, killing nobles and emperors. However, it has a classic stand-type flaw. She can only target one person with the poison at a time. It is an assassination. It is not an AoE poison. It is specifically, the poison for Cusco. The poison meant specifically to poison Cusco, kind of a thing. Cusco's poison.
That poison?
Yeah, that one. So, I'm imagining a single target, arts, does damage, poisons the target, maybe does bonus damage if they're already poisoned, kind of a thing. Just, stacking poison on poison on poison. Maybe throw in an anti-king trait there, like a Scheherazade, like an assassin Scheherazade type thing. But a very scary ability with some limitations, but still able to get out there and do a lot of stuff with poison. There are indeed quite a few, servants who work with poison comps, so I assume Locusta would kind of go in there by support. Maybe for instance, if her second Noble Phantasm, the Scala, was treated as a skill, you could make it so that everybody does bonus damage to an enemy who's poisoned, for instance.
Oh, that'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, because there are servants like that. I'm imagining like a semi-support. Like her Noble Phantasm should obviously be single target. That's kind of her thing. She has very famous assassinations that were very targeted. But plenty of team-wide support, throw out buffs, throw out AoE debuffs.
I think she should have something that increases the effectiveness of poison as well.
Yeah, like I said, I think I said that. Take additional damage from poison. What do we call that, actually? Is it toxic poison?
I think so.
Yeah, the names for some of those debuffs are a little crazy. But yeah, so there should be a wide variety of poison-based buffs and debuffs here, and you can do a lot there. Design-wise, like I said, I would go for a probably very, very goth, very subtle. We could do an on-hit poison. That could actually be her Noble Phantasm effect, and then have have her Herblore skill be the AoE poison, and enemies take extra damage from poison, and then her Noble Phantasm gives herself a buff to do does extra damage to poisoned enemies, and gives herself a buff to do poison on basic attacks after. Because she has arts, so you would assume it would be looping. There's a lot of variety of comps you could brew up here, and people have pointed out works very well with several. Oh, it is just toxic. Okay, yeah, kind of a Yangui Fei, but for poison. Probably a decent team comp. I don't know if she would be a 5-star, probably more like a 3-star. Because Nero is 4 and 5 stars, but there's some variety out there. By the way, here is a artwork. This is from the 1870s, but this is Locusta testing the poison for Britannicus. With the Emperor Nero is that brooding motherfucker in the back there. Yeah. He's just like, yes, this guy is quite poisoned. And Locusta's like, yo, Emperor, look how poisoned that guy is.
Please don't kill me.
I want to go back to my sick villa. I mean, allegedly, according to historical reports, their relationship could be kind of trepidatious at times. The first attempt to poison Claudius' son Britannicus didn't work because the poison was too slow, so allegedly, keeping in mind that most of the history you know about Nero was written after Nero was already killed and during periods of anti-Nero revisionism. But allegedly, Nero personally beat Locusta and threatened her with an execution, so she gave him a faster poison. After that, was when she got a sick villa and a full pardon. But still, there's some back and forth. You need to do some professionalism. So I'm imagining, like I said, like a little bit of a goth brooding look, probably dark hair to like Nero's big shiny blonde. Probably go for maybe we could go for a tall, skinny, lanky kind of a look.
Probably got some bags under the eyes.
Yes, obviously she's hardworking all the time, making new poisons. Probably start with a very simplistic toga look, and then you can get more and more gaudy and Nero-y as you go on. Because obviously, you hang out too long in the presence of Nero, you get shinier. Everybody remembers what Regalia Nero looks like from Extella, right?
Oh yeah.
So get some extra bling, get some extra floating golden bits. Yeah, definitely have some purple stripes in there. So there's quite a wide variety of fun stuff in there.
I would like to have some tools of the trade, maybe like an alembic and other such things.
Yeah, and obviously, for background art, for instance, for Ascensions, you could show her, in her lab, cooking something up. Maybe put some feathers in her hair later as an emphasis thing. There's a lot of fun that can be had here. I personally just have to assume that, the FGO readers or writers haven't gone back enough to Nero to figure this one out, because I'm like, this shit writes itself, y'all. There's a lot of rando people from the Emperor Nero's time that have been mentioned in FGO Neros and other experiences like Extella. So there is a lot of wiggle room out there. Though, hey, this is very interesting. I just read this on Wikipedia while I was double checking some stuff. Locusta was a character in Humanity Through the Ages, the 1908 film by Georges Méliès, who we believe to be the true name of the rabbit writer from manga. So there's another fun connection there. The actual film is a lost film, though, which is sad. Lost media, sad. Also, Alexandre Dumas, who is himself a servant, compared characters to Locusta a lot, and even started a chapter named Locusta in The Count of Monte Cristo, so, there's a lot of fun connections here, FGO. You can take my free absolute win here. Next time you want to do something Roman-themed, throw in Locusta. Next Halloween. You can have dialogue with Dantes. You can have dialogue with Neros, all the Neros. Dialogue with Caligula for the funny. According to lore, yes, the poisoning that it was supposed to have gone on with Nero, which I don't even know if we remember. I really need the Fate Extra record to come out, because I want to know how much stuff we're going to keep in the line. Because I know that Nero had her migraine skill when FGO launched, but that's one of the skills that got buffed, right?
Right.
It's something completely different now.
Also, the fact that we do have a Nero caster.
That's also, a different build. Though, again, she mentions she learned a little bit about Magecraft in Extella, I think, during one of your My Room dialogues.
Yeah.
She specifically mentions, was it Simeon Magus? I think that was the guy. Real life guy. Nero says lots of things in My Room, though. Like casually mentioning, by the way, Praetor, I wrestle lions naked. Nero, are you coming on to me? Yes. Okay. I can't do anything about this in this timeline.
Remember, you're not here. Nero's not part of your harem. Nero, you are part of Nero's harem.
Yeah, very well illustrated in one of the scenes in the extra anime as well, in Last Encore. But yeah, so the lore bit that the reason for Nero's insanity, migraines, lack of focus, whatever, being Agrippina slowly poisoning her child to like keep Nero in line, and then Nero just not giving a fuck. That is older lore. I do not think we have mentioned that a lot, so I don't actually know, like, if that's gonna, like I said, if that'll stay true. Because that doesn't really come up in FGO ever, and like I said, we already phased out that skill into something else, so it could still be true. I would assume, especially given the fact that their relationship continues after Agrippina is killed, and, like, Agrippina tries to get, Locusta jailed. Oh, you killed an emperor, wah. Never mind that I told you to do that.
I mean, that's
and
how
then
you
Nero's
do.
like, hey, yo, I heard you be killing emperors out here. Can you get rid of a problem for me? And Locusta's like, whatever you need, Holmes. Elaborate murder plot, go. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of fun stuff there. And just, again, given that Fate is not always willing to shy, I know that Septim gets a lot of guff for, like, Nero being kind of written as a very flat character. A lot of characters in Septim are flat, though, so not really a problem on her end. But Fate in general is not afraid to talk about some of the weirdness or the done bad things about Nero, even if it's just Nero being like, well, I didn't really notice anything wrong because I'm so beautiful and perfect. Why would anything be wrong? I'm great, So there's definitely some fun to be had here, which is why this is a very early servant sketch I did, and it took you guys a long time to vote for it. I think I put this in one of my very early polls, which was like a couple of years ago. So I've been sitting on this one for a while, y'all. As usual, I do not know what the theme is, though, September, kind of and obviously late August as well, kind of the back-to-school season. Maybe I can find some teachers to round up for a poll. We'll see.
I know there's a famous one in Japan, the god of learning, who's basically respected as a god of studying and whatnot. People usually ask for his blessing for studying exams, but he was killed by a rival, and after that, all of his the people who killed him started dying mysteriously, and so he got also associated with lightning and shit. Actually has a huge ass fucking temple that they built to appease him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember his fucking name now.
Is it Omoi? It might be Omoi Kane.
Okay.
Heavenly dated pawn me, serving one's thoughts. I mean, Omoi Kane is a god of wisdom and intelligence.
It might be him.
I'm not seeing any of the additional stuff, just a lot of big names.
I know
there's
Tenjin.
a few like this, though.
Yes. Okay, it's Tenjin, who was Suigara no Michizane. Yeah, basically, he was, he fell to a plausible rival, was demoted and exiled. He died in exile, and the capital was struck by heavy rains and lightning, and many of the leading Fujiwara died, which was the rival clan that, got him killed.
Yeah.
When there was fires and stuff. And the court was all like, yo, man, fucking, Sugawara is really fucking pissed at us that, we let this happen. So build him the hugest fucking temple we can. Our shrine. So yeah, no, he was and then he evolved into a patron of scholars. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But no, at first he was seen as a god of natural disasters.
Yeah,
Man,
and the
crazy.
name Tenjin, as in Sky God, is very close to Raijin, the Thunder God.
Yep.
Yes, China's doing another funny. They're censoring more stuff and more arts,
Of course they are.
including one of Skahak's ascensions.
They can't handle the titty.
Yeah, whatever. It's funny, but it's nothing new.
No, not really.
But there's a few things I could dig up for Fanservant Friday as usual. I have quite a wide variety of people and things, so I'll be pulling it up in a couple of weeks, that poll. So keep your eye out for it if you enjoy that. If you want to vote in that poll, that is available to our 5 and up patrons, as well as other regular polls like Fail Portrayal and stuff. So keep an eye out for that. God, we have not been going very long, but it is so friggin' hot. I am like through my second bottle of water in this recording. Luckily, we're pretty close to being done.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. I can fill up again. But I think that is about everything. Man, it's been a while since this show is raw, an hour and a half-ish.
Oof.
I have no idea what it's going to be like in the edit. But unfortunately, there's not a lot to talk about. It's just lotto farming and Grail Front maps, and that's it. Not a lot going on in JP right now, as we discussed. You guys did not give us a whole shitload of mail, so it's actually your fault, isn't it? Okay. So we got to wrap up. If this episode was not long enough for you, if you need more audio of us for your lotto grind, obviously you can watch What's Up. That is live streamed every day. The same day as this goes live to public, assuming nothing breaks, but it shouldn't because the episode is short. Should be able to power through that pretty fast. So check that out. Also, don't forget to check out our new actual play series, Gensekai, up to 4 episodes uploaded now. You can check out all of those. Those are quite lengthy as well. Available in video format on our YouTube channel or audio format for patrons. We also have a wide variety of streams. Check out our Monday stream series every Monday. Currently working our way through Great Ace Attorney Chronicles and many, many courtroom boozlings. We were very bamboozled a little while ago. There was literally like 3 lines of text, and then there was the to be continued. Yeah, I'm sure the number of boxes that we may or may not be reading out will come soon enough. But hey, you guys let us know what your favorite maps so far have been in Grail Front. Lots of other fun stuff in the comments. Keep at us. Once again, remind you we are streaming regularly. So check out not only What's Up in our Monday stream, but I mentioned this before. But I've been building up and clearing out time to actually begin playing the award-winning Final Fantasy XIV. So that will be Wednesday, August 31st. I have blocked out the time accordingly, because we'll be skipping that week for Prague anyway, because there's not enough people. So we'll work out the exact details later, but, be sure to tune into that as well. And I think I've got all my stuff.
Sounds all to me.
All right. Then let us move on to the outro, so I can go ahead and edit and kick this episode out there. So, if you're watching this video on YouTube, be sure to give it a like if you liked it. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section down below. It can be about how many boxes you farmed, whatever maps you like, whatever. You can also join our Discord. Link is always in the video description and on our channel page. Have Discord, will travel.
Mm-hmm.
If you are new here, please subscribe to our channel and get all of our latest videos I just mentioned, like future streams and stuff. Even if you're already subscribed, consider ringing that bell for a notification so you always know when we're posting a new video or we're streaming. It's a really handy feature you should check out. You can also join our channel membership and get access to membership badges and emotes right there, not only in our community page and comment section, but also on our live streams. It's very fun. And like I said at the front of the show, you can support us on Patreon. You can get access to this episode in audio format early for as little as $1 a month or approximately $10 a year. At higher levels, you can vote in polls, get access to videos early, and lots of other fun things, such as listening to us record Let's Talk FGO live every week. And I think that is about that. So I know obviously the show has been a little slim trim, but we hope you enjoyed it. And if you want more, you know where to find us. And with that, I think I will say good day, everyone.
Good evening. Good night.